Good evening and welcome to St Joseph's Park here in Ederney for the Division 1 Westville Hotel Senior Football League game between Ederney St Joseph's and Derrygonnelly Harps, where we see our referee in the centre of the field with the Ederney captain Declan McCusker. Fine evening here for football, a slight breeze blowing right to left, and I'm delighted to say that I'm joined on commentary here this evening by a man who needs very little introduction, but a man who's making his debut on Fermanagh GAA TV. That's the county manager, Kieran Donnelly. Kieran, you're very welcome.
Thanks very much, Jed.
Looking forward to operating on Fermanagh GAA TV, and I suppose maybe more so looking forward to the game of football that lies ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Look at two teams, I suppose, are looking to see where they are for the rest of the year. I suppose the championship will up in the next couple of months. Derrygonnelly, I suppose, coming as county champions, will be confident pushing on this year, and Ederney, tasting that bit of success 2 years ago, will be keen to get back to the top table. So look, it'll be a bit of shadow boxing tonight. There's a few players missing, but both teams will be looking to set a marker. You know, it should be definitely two well matched teams.
Yeah, you talk about a couple of players missing, and I suppose that gives us an opportunity to go through the teams. And the Ederney team will start with Chris Snow on goals. Full back line of Michael Maguire, Luke Harn and Finbar Gillen. Half back line of Jacob Britton, Decky McCusker and Enda Cassidy. Middle of the field, Marty McGrath will wear 8 and Louis Donnelly will wear 9. And the half forward line, a strong looking half forward line with Paul McCusker wearing 10. Mark McCauley will wear number 21 and Paul McKervey will wear number 12. And finally the full forward line then of Ryan Maguire will wear 13, Conor McGee 14, and Oran McGee, his brother, will wear the number 15 jersey. And I would expect that Marty McGrath and Conor McGee will swap places. Kieran, your thoughts on the Ederney team?
Yeah, definitely, Jed. I think it's an experiment Ederney been trying in the past couple of league games. He scored a goal in the last league game against Ballinalack, so it's probably something they'll be looking to utilise again tonight. He's very effective. He's good hands. If they get runners off him, he definitely is hard to handle. And I imagine Conor McGee will come out. So look, I'm interested to see how Marty will play inside and how Derrygonnelly handle him.
And Owen Donnelly, Ryan Morris, Aaron Dennison, Sean Cassidy, 4 players missing. Important players in their own right. Yeah,
massive players. Ryan Morris and Sean Cassidy were definitely very prominent when they won the championship. Two go-to forwards. So I suppose they have to try something at Ederney. They have to try to have ball sticking inside. It's often a simple game if you have men that can win the ball and get runners off it. So they are big misses. But the fact that both teams are missing key players will probably mean that it'll be even enough. But yet, I still feel probably. It's going to be down to around that midfield area. There'll be some great tussles in the middle of the field between Steve McGullion and Conor McGee and so on. So both fairly physical in those areas too. So you imagine it'll be whoever dominates that middle third.
And the Derrygonnelly team then will line out with Jack Kelly in goals, full back line of Aaron Jones, Tiernan Daly and Mickey Jones, half back line of Oisin Smith, Lee Jones and Gareth McGovern. Middle of the field, as Kieran has alluded to, Stephen McGullion and Ryan McGovern wearing the number 9 jersey. Half forward line then is Shane McGullion 10, Eamon McHugh 11 and Conor Burns will wear the number 12 jersey. Full forward line is Stephen Gilroy, Conal Jones will wear 14 and Aidan McKenna will wear 15. And I suppose the big names missing from that is the 2 Jones brothers, Ryan and Garvin, and Conor McGovern, who was very prolific last week, scoring 1-5. And I suppose the fact too that Gary McKenna's gone from the squad from last year. So there are 4 fairly significant misses.
Again, quite similar, Jet. Yeah, Conor McGovern, I was looking forward to seeing. He scored 1-5 the last day and I suppose played very well. But Gary McKenna will be a big miss for them inside because I felt he was excellent last year in that run to the championship. But again, Derrygonnelly will have to try different options inside. I see Aidan McKenna inside with Conal, so it'll be keen to see how they dovetail well together.
Yeah, and our referee this evening is a Devonish man. That's Jared Gallagher. Right in the middle of the field. We're looking at our watch. It's 1 minute past 8, so we're going to get started on very good time here. Conditions, as I say, excellent. The wind blowing from right to left as we look out from a lovely compact stand here in St Joseph's Park in Ederney. A referee checks his watches. Just about to throw the ball in. We're underway here in Fermanagh GAA TV. Ball knocked down and picked up there initially by Ryan McGovern. McGovern's fouled and the free will go the way of the Ederney men get the resulting free as McKervey elects to go long with it. Looking there for Marty McGrath and Tiernan Daly. Daly wins that one, does well, but McGrath puts on the pressure. Eventually the ball breaks favourably for the Harps and they come out with possession. Jones coming out with it, wearing the number 2 jersey. Gives it back inside there to Lee Jones in a familiar position, I suppose, wearing number 6 now, playing centre half back. Gets it to Conor Burns. Burns lays it forward there again. Opportunity for Garrett McGovern, knocks the ball forward. Back inside it goes. This is a fine move. Can be finished with a score from Conor Burns. The answer is no. It's been dropped short. First short of the game. Into the hands there of Chris Snow. Snow picks it up for Ederney, gives it out to Paul McCusker. Experienced McCusker doesn't do particularly well on that occasion, gives the ball away straight to Shane McGullion. McGullion does well, gives it back to Mickey Jones, and Jones is tackled. Well, Jones didn't take too kindly to that tackle from Louis Donnelly. Referee didn't really see anything in that. The ball given away again, picked up by Luke Harn. Harn gets it out to Paul McCurvey. McCurvey over the far side of the field. Ederney with lots and lots of players behind the ball, so therefore McCurvey has to recycle. Gives it cross field there. Eventually comes there to Finbar Gillen. Gillen switches it over now towards Conor McGee. McGee 65 metres out from his own goal. Still Ederney slow enough to get players up the field. Gives Derrygonnelly time to filter back. Get plenty of players behind the ball. Every man behind the ball now as Stephen McGullion and Shane McGullion, the 2 brothers, make their way behind the ball, but Ederney still in possession with Luke Harn over the far side of the field. Harn looks up, gives it back to Chris Snow. Snow over to Finbar Gillen. Gillen switches sides here, over now towards Conor McGee. Plenty of width to this Ederney team. McGee thought about going long, elects to keep possession safe. Good move from McCusker. Gathers it there. Paul McCusker looks up, threads a ball into a tricky position where there was a couple of Derrygonnelly men, and it has broken favourably for Aaron Jones, and he does well. Comes out with it. The referee thinks about the free, will give the free. Free taken quickly, but I think the referee will bring this one back. It's been a fast opening, Kieran.
It has, and both teams are playing with a +1. Aaron Jones is basically replicating. Oran McGee 15 is dropping back as the +1, and Aaron Jones is basically sitting with the middle third press everywhere else. So yeah, it's tight, and it's competitive. But again, a lot of balls wasted. That's the third ball kicked inside that hasn't worked.
Straight to the sweeper there, Oran McGee, as Kieran has alluded to, and McGee picks that one up through the hands. It goes now. Bit of space for Decky McCusker. Does well. Still going. Gives it to the brother. Surely the first score of the game. Paul McCusker kicks it right footed. Kicks it superbly. Kicks it over the bar. Excellent score. The 2 brothers linked very well. Fine score, Kieran.
Yeah, great score. Decky showing his usual drive and thrust through the middle. Paul just again run off his shoulder. Great finish by Paul. Very composed.
Yeah, great pace coming through the centre there from Decky McCusker, playing at centre back tonight. Marty McGrath tries to stop Tiernan Daly, not the easiest task in the world, and Daly does well, moves the ball into space. That space is filled there by Aidan McKenna. McKenna, the edge of the D, chance now for Jones. Jones gives it inside, still an opportunity, flicked inside, surely a goal. No, McGullion's shot is blocked on the line there. I think it was Enda Casti who threw himself at that ball. Brilliant block. It looked for all intents and purposes that ball was only going to finish in one place.
Yeah, they moved the ball through the phases very well. Fast hands. Ederney seemed to lose the runners from deep very easily there. But again, Chris and young Casti was out on top of the shot very quickly, so it smothered Steve McGullion's effort.
Yeah, well, we'll make another chance to look at that in a moment after this 45 is taken. Coming up to take it will be Conal Jones. Jones steadies down, 45 metres out. Kicks it well, but has he the accuracy? The umpires think not. No, or is it? Well, the flag is it still hasn't gone up there.
Yeah, it's
actually gone up.
Good strike by Conal, yes, excellent strike. Against a slight breeze, not much, but good strike.
Yeah. Ball out in the middle. Taken quickly by Chris Snow, 1 point apiece. Slight wind favouring Ederney, Kieran, in the first half.
Yeah, slight breeze for Ederney there, and again with Colin striking that ball, he connected very well with it. But there's very little, to be honest. But it's just anything that there is, Ederney do have it. Yeah.
Ball now in the hands of Finbar Gillen, experienced Gillen, gets it crossfield now to one of the youngest players on the team. He's only 17 years of age. Big, strong, strapping lad is Louis Donnelly. Gives the ball down to one of the more experienced ones. That's Decky McCusker. McCusker does well, taking on his man, but he's been run into a little bit of trouble. Managed to feed the ball out there. Ederney retain possession. Out it goes towards Louis Donnelly. Donnelly done well. Gathers it, retains possession. Looks as if he was being fouled there. The referee says he was. Donnelly takes the kick across field quickly to Finbar Gillen. Gillen thought about the shot, elected to leave it off to Conor McGee instead. McGee, his shot is wayward. It's gone to the right hand side and gone wide. First wide of the game, but Louis Donnelly settled in well to the game.
He really has, and look at he's a big athletic player, and he's causing them problems. Yeah, when he carries the ball at them, but again, probably another pass in that for Conor. He probably forced that shot when it wasn't on.
So Washington Smith coming out with the ball, another young player making his way into this Derrygonnelly side. Good ball inside now. Picked up. Washington Smith continued his run. Can he finish? Gets the shot away. I think this one's gone to the left hand side and gone wide. Ball gone to the left and wide, but again running from deep, causing problems.
Yeah, look, that link play from both teams seems to be good. Most of their strength is coming from deep. You know, they have got athletic players in the half back line around the middle, so they're going to utilise that.
That's a brilliant kick from Chris Snow, right on the money.
Well picked out now, yeah, as you say, there was no room for error. And Chris is that in his locker.
Yeah, and the man he kicked it to was Andy Casty, and he's continued his run. Casty puts his body in front of the Derrygonnelly players. Looked like a possible foul there, but the referee says no. Mickey Jones, old experienced warhorse, does well, holds on to possession and plays the ball out there to Lee Jones. Lee slips a nice ball inside to Shane McGullion. McGullion, that diagonal ball into space, but too much on that. It was Stephen McGullion has drifted into that full forward position. Colin Jones further out the field, and Ederney deal with that one. Decky McCusker popping up everywhere. Gives a good ball inside. Ball laid back one more time. Opportunity for Ederney now in a little bit of space there with Finbar Gillen. Brilliant fist pass by Oran McGee in down towards Marty McGrath now. McGrath does well, gets out in front of Tiernan Daly, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4 players around there. Gives it back there to the shot was taken there by Mark McCauley. McCauley finished that excellently.
Excellent finish from a tight angle, but that's what Marty gives you. The ball stuck there and he held it off 3 or 4 players around him till the runner came. So that's his strength. Ederney utilised that well.
Yeah, fine score for Ederney. They lead 2 points to 1 here on Fermanagh GAA TV, coming to you live from St Joseph's Park in Ederney. My first experience of commentating in Ederney, and it's been an excellent experience so far. The facilities here absolutely superb. Everything's so neat and tidy and compact as the ball is fed inside now. An opportunity for Conor Burns. Burns' shot goes in, but Chris Snow watched that all the way and has support there and help from Conor McGee. McGee gets it out to a man who's also picking up some good positions as Finbar Gillen. Good running by Paul McCusker. McCusker now 45 metres out from goal. Still going. Ederney lead 2 points to 1. McCusker cutting inside. Fancies an opportunity to pop it over the bar, but gives it to Gillen. Gillen back it goes to McCauley again. McCauley gets the shot away. McCauley's shot looks good. McCauley's shot is over the bar. 2 fine scores in the space of a minute for Mark McCauley. Patience was the name of the game there, Kieran.
Patience was the key, and Finbar Gillen is causing them problems now coming forward. That's the second time he's been involved in that move that led to a score. So showed composure and took that extra pass.
That's the voice of Fermanagh Senior Football Manager Kieran Donnelly joining us here this evening on Fermanagh GAA TV here in Ederney, where the home side lead 3 points to 1. The ball is in the hands of Aaron Jones. Gives it over there to his namesake, that's Lee. Lee gets it over the far side of the field. Eventually it's in the hands of Gareth McGovern. McGovern, just 20 years of age, has possession. Lays it back there to his namesake again. This is Ryan McGovern. McGovern to Jones. Jones across field. Over towards Oisin Smith. Smith, 22-year-old, just finished his studies in the university over in Dundee. Back now, living in Fermanagh. Ball in the hands of Mickey Jones. Jones gathers and turns inside his marker. His marker on that occasion being Jacob Britton. Gives a good ball inside to Shane McGullion. McGullion goes to ground. Referee allows play to continue, just as he did, I suppose, down at the other side. So he is being consistent as ball is picked up there by Andy Casty. Casty to McCusker. McCusker to Paul McCurvey. McCurvey now slips it off one more time there to Ryan Maguire. Maguire tugging the jersey. Maguire lays it off to Louis Donnelly. Louis thought about having the shot but was reluctant to do so, and then poor ball by Louis Donnelly. Ball given away straight in the hands of Eamon McHugh. First time to mention Eamon, it'll not be the last, I'm sure. Ball now in the hands of Conor Burns. 20-year-old, burst onto the scene last year, played a pivotal role in various championship games that he entered. These two teams, of course, it took a replay to separate them in the championship back in November. As Chris Snow gathers possession, gets it out now to McGee, slips it over this near side of the field to Jacob Britton. Britton, 45 metres out from goal, has support from his goalkeeper if need be, elects to give it back one more time to Andy Casty. We've played 10 minutes here exactly in St Joseph's Park in Ederney. The home side lead 3 points to 1. 2 scores from Mark McCauley, 1 from Paul McCusker. The only reply from Derrygonnelly has been from the boot of Conal Jones from a 45. The foul is committed there by Mickey Jones on Louis Donnelly, and Ederney have a chance to take a quick free.
Yeah, Fimber Gill on the ball here again. Fimber's been influential. Ederney just seemed to be a bit slicker and moving the ball through the hands in this past few phases, but again, there's loads of opportunities for the ball to go inside at times, especially for Derrygonnelly, but they forced 2 kick passes in there to Steve McGullion, and just he didn't gather. But that's obviously a tactic. They're trying to get a mismatch inside, and he's trying to float inside, but it hasn't worked for them to date. Whereas on the flip of that, Marty has won a couple of balls inside. So Ederney just seemed that wee bit more composed on the ball and utilising a wee bit more with width. They're filling out the space well.
And here they go again, another example of that with Andy Casty, gives it down towards McKervey. McKervey wins possession, gathers it, comes back out the field, make himself a little bit of space. One more time there to Jacob Britton. Britton gives it back to Oran McGee. McGee, big, strong, powerful lad. Oran McGee gives it back there to Fimber Gillen. Over it goes to Chris Snow. All these players very, very comfortable on the ball, waiting to see can they create a little bit of space for a teammate. Not a good ball by Chris Snow. Ball given away. Mickey Cassidy down below us, the manager of the Ederney St Joseph's team, not happy with that as Ashton Smith comes striding forward. Smith still goes. Good strong run from Ashton Smith. Can he finish? The answer is yes. That's a super score from Ashton Smith. Came all the way up the field. Thought he had maybe when he drifted round Decky McCuskey, I thought maybe that he was bringing it too far, but he had the confidence in his own ability to pop that one over. He
definitely has the balance, Conor, and a nice wee sidestep. He showed that in several glimpses throughout last year, but a really poor ball by Chris at that stage. Be really annoyed because Ederney were set up, they'd filled the width of the pitch, and one bad kick pass, and then they were chasing the ball over the top. So that was one now they'll be really annoyed at.
3 points to 2 in favour of Ederney. They get a little bit more space here with Jacob Britton. Britton lays it off there. Ball gathered by McCauley. McCauley lays it off there one more time. Possession in the hands of Conor McGee. Threads a good ball inside, can take the mark. Has elected to take the mark. That's Jacob Britton. Britton, normally renowned for his defensive duties, but he kicks this one well. And, well, Jack Kelly wasn't content to catch that one. Was under the crossbar and elected to fist it round the post, and goes out for 45.
Yeah, look, it probably just felt there was probably bodies in around him, and it was the best option. Jacob just possibly rushed that a wee bit more time. They have their 15 seconds. Sometimes as defenders, they tend to rush that shot a wee bit more composure, and he could have stroked it a wee bit better. But look, it's something Chris is up to hit this, and probably playing with the breeze here a wee bit. You would fancy his chances to stroke this over the bar.
Yeah, well, he's an experienced operator, is Chris Snow. He's hit many a crucial kick for his club and indeed his county over the years. He's slightly to the left-hand side of the post, which will suit the right-footed kicker. Kicks it well, give him the big build-up, but he didn't deliver. It's gone to the left-hand side, gone wide. 2 points to 1. 3 points to 2 in favour of Ederney. 2 wides to 1 in favour of Ederney. 15 minutes played. Your take on the first quarter?
Yeah, look, you felt it appeared there. Ederney seemed to have control of the ball, but they've given away a couple of passes there in this past 3 or 4 minutes. Very little between the teams. Look, Derrygonnelly just aren't getting the same joy when they're kicking the ball inside, but both teams want to run it and are looking to move it through the hands that way. Great kick there by Jack. Shane has won it well.
Yeah, excellent kick by Jack Kelly over towards, as Kieran says, Shane McGullion. Took his eye of it for the moment. The ball goes to ground, but McGullion has time to take it back inside. He tried to feed Conor Burns there, but it just rolled out of his arm, and therefore the turnover can be affected by Ederney. And the ball is in the hands of Conor McGee. McGee now to a player in a bit of space. That's Ryan Maguire. Maguire striding forward, shoulders with the left, getting back very quickly. There was Aaron Jones and forcing Maguire to turn back inside. Paul McKervey, he's only one way of looking at the moment, and that's forward, and tries to thread a good ball inside, looking for Marty McGrath, but Kieran and Daly read that one really well, and McGrath has fouled Daly, and the free will go the way of the Harps. Just a little bit of an altercation between Kieran and Daly and Marty McGrath. Might be the first, but it'll hardly be the last, Kieran.
No, it'll not. It's a great tussle now. Kieran will fancy himself in that low ball on Marty. I suppose a certain type of ball is what Marty's looking for. It just didn't work, that one.
This man is playing really, really well. That's Oisin Smith. Smith going forward. That was an ambitious effort from Smith after popping one over a few minutes earlier. He fancied his chances again, but he was off balance.
He was, yeah, and Paul McCurvey got back well on him there. Look at Oisin has moved with a bit of purpose forward, but again, just that maybe extra pass just to recycle it back again, probably forced a shot there.
Yeah, he's a bit of a utility player for this Derrygonnelly side. One day you'll see him at full back.
He has,
yeah. Midfield, and tonight wing half. We'll bring Kieran in that in a moment, as this is a good move. Can it be finished now by Cassidy? The shot goes in. Looks as if it's went over the bar. Yeah, and Cassidy. He was saving blocking goals on one side of the pitch and popping up.
Look, Enda's put in a couple of good interceptions there. Paul McCusker as well, a real good finish there. Short kick out here now to Oisin, and again, as you said, look, Derrygonnelly utilised him as a man marker last year and started him at full back in a couple of the league games, and I see he's back out now to the wing and looking moving well and moving the ball well at times. Yeah,
4 points to 2, 3 to the Harps, taken there quickly by Lee Jones. Looking there for Ryan McGovern. McGovern being faced up by Louis Donnelly. It's a good tussle between the two youngsters over there. Ryan McGovern is awarded the free. The referee will want him to go back and take it from where the foul was committed, and that he does. Ball fed forward, heavy challenge there, but referee happy enough that nothing too malicious in that, and a little bit of treatment required for Shane McGullion, but he'll be back in action. Good to see Shane back after a troublesome couple of years.
Definitely, look, Shane's a big plus. He had an excellent game against Dromore in the Ulster Club last year in his first game back, and this is a big year for him now. If he can stay injury free, it's a massive extra talent to have on the pitch for him.
Long kick in this time from Conal Jones. Ball broke down there. Marty or Daggy McCusker and Shane McGullion battling for it. McGullion just couldn't get his balance sorted, and the ball drifted away from him, and it's been picked up easily there by Ederney, and Conor McGee in possession of the football. Gives it inside to Daggy McCusker. Back inside it goes to Paul McCurvey. McCurvey back eventually comes to Daggy McCusker. McCusker now to Macaulay. Macaulay on the left foot. That's a fine effort from Mark Macaulay. That's a brilliant score. Third score of the opening 18 minutes from Mark Macaulay, and pushes Ederney into a 3-point lead.
Yeah, just again, slick move, a bit of pace off the shoulder. Look, Derrygonnelly have forced us the third kick pass inside to Steve McGullion that hasn't worked for them, and another turnover. So Ederney counteract and hit them on the break.
Kick out taken, McGullion flicks it on. That was Stephen McGullion on that occasion. But Ederney pick up the break ball. They have been the more dominant side, the more comfortable. As I said, more comfortable in possession of the ball, nearly given away. But they have. There's an air of calmness about them.
There is. They just have options on the ball. There's one thing about them. They seem to be communicating well on the ball, and they do seem to have that second runner off, and again a runner over the top. So that's something probably they've worked with Maxie Kern, maybe that Donegal style as well. They just seem to have just a wee bit more variety to the ball carrier. Again, turned over there. McGee, who's the sweeper, just thought he had too much time on the ball.
Carried it too long. He's penalised. Ball now in the hands of Aidan McKenna. McKenna gives it back to McGullion. Thought about the shot. Elects to come out wide. Lays it back to McKenna again. Back to McGullion. Ederney start to surround. Get players back behind the ball. Ball has to come back out now towards Garrett McGovern. McGovern gives it back to Oisin Smith. Smith over the far side of the field. Derrygonnelly looking for a score. They haven't scored now since the 12th minute, when it was 3 points to 2. 2 scores from Enda Cassidy and Mark Macaulay have stretched Ederney's lead out to 3 points, 5-2. Ball, however, in the hands of the Harps, and that ball was adjudged to have been thrown there, says our referee Jared Goller. No real protest from Derrygonnelly.
No, I think.
Oh, the ball given away. And back inside it goes to Mickey Jones. Will look to get onto the left foot. Didn't fancy the right, so it has to come back out to Aidan McKenna. McKenna lays it off one more time there to Conor Burns. Bourne slips it inside. Lee Jones back inside. This is, well, I was going to say it was a slick move, but it's been broken up, and Paul McCusker clears it out, and now it's 2 against 2, and it's Ryan Maguire coming forward, but Maguire is forced backwards. Back it comes to McCusker. Strong tackling here by Ryan McGovern. McCusker over the far side of the field. Ederney still managed to retain possession with Jacob Britton. Britton gives it down to McKervey. He floats that one in but drops it short. That's a short each in the game. That one drops into the hands of Jack Kelly. And now Derrygonnelly have another opportunity to come forward here with Conor Burns. Strong, powerful lad, Conor Burns, for just 20 years of age. Lays it back inside there to Aidan McKenna. McKenna surveys his options, 45 metres out from goal. Lays it back to Lee Jones. Jones takes on his man being Jacob Britton, turns onto the right foot, gets the shot away. That's a fine effort from Lee Jones. A forward converted to the defender, kicking points, and that's no bother to Lee Jones.
Yeah, look, when they're playing with the +1 with Aaron, so it gives Lee that wee bit more licence to go, and he's very confident in the ball, especially up the middle. Great strike. Something they may look to utilise with Ian McHugh, maybe playing a wee bit higher up the pitch. He definitely brings them that different option, you know, and good on the ball and doesn't waste it.
Good take in the middle of the field again by Louis Donnelly, and making a great run over the far side of the field is Decky McCusker. McCusker steady down, might fancy his chances, gives a good ball inside. Opportunity for a goal from Britton. Britton's in, flicks up McGrath into the back of the net. It goes. A fine goal there. It was a brilliant run by Decky McCusker. Give it to Jacob Britton. Britton then seen Marty McGrath in acres of space. McGrath pops it into the back of the net.
Yeah, they lost the runners there. Derrygonnelly, Decky brings that drive again. Just that overlap. Jacob, great vision there to see Marty at the edge of the square, and Marty had the easy tap in.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't see Marty myself. I'm not sure where he was flicking it to, but Marty McGrath was on the edge of the square and was able to palm it into the back of the net. One of the easiest goals Marty will ever score in his long career. Of course, over 40 years of age now. He'll not thank me for giving his age out on Fermanagh GAA TV, but I see him out performing for Fermanagh or for Tyrone over 40, so that certainly gives us his age away. But he was in the right place at the right time. That's a big score in the context of this game, Kieran.
It probably is reflective of probably the game at the stage. You know, Derrygonnelly just seem to be forcing things inside. They're not getting that extra runner off the shoulder. Just Ederney are using the ball a bit better. No, that's the sort of finish Marty loves. 2 yards out, can't finish, and I can't miss. Sorry. And as you alluded to, that over 40 career with Marty with Tyrone, it was hard to see him in a Tyrone jersey. But
it was different,
it was different, definitely was a different angle.
But it just shows you the desire and the hunger that's in the man to continue to play football.
It's incredible. Look, it's a credit to him because he's still a focal part for the club, and you know they're missing 2 or 3 key players inside, and he just gives them that bit of traction inside. He needs to be marked. You know, a good player has to mark him, so it frees up some of these younger players to play a wee bit more. So no, it's a credit to Marty. He's still in super condition.
Conal Jones steadies down. He kicked a 45 earlier in the game. He kicks this well. He kicks it over the bar. That's his second point of the game. Comes from a free. Double scores here in St Joseph's Park, Ederney.
Yeah, good strike by Conal off the ground again. That's the second one that he's hitting off the deck, and another good strike. But no, look at that. Derrygonnelly are going to have to try to get the grips of things and mix their play up a wee bit more. They were probably too obvious to read at that stage when they hit the ball direct into Stevie. They need to mix their play up a wee bit, but they have enough experience to get back into this game. Yeah,
I suppose speaking of experience, they're missing the likes of Ryan Jones and Garvin Jones here tonight, both out with varying injuries. So too Gary McKenna, who's away in Australia now, and Conor McGovern, who was the star for them last week. He's away on holidays. As they come forward again here, or Ederney come forward in the shape of Finbar Gillen. Gillen brings it into the corner. Ederney still managed to retain possession. Back to Decky McCusker. Back it goes to Endicasti. In towards McGrath. McGrath lays it off. Another goal possibly. It is. Oh, it's off the... Well, it's going to be a goal now. Eventually. Well, it came off the post. Unbelievable series of events there. Marty McGrath winning it and laying it off. and it looked as if Ryan Maguire couldn't miss, but he somehow managed to hit the post and eventually came back out to Conor McGee. We'll get a look at it there, Kieran.
Yeah, look at Ryan Maguire actually initially showed great composure, then come back off the post. Conor again with another easy finish, but just again Marty made that, quick hands, again winning the ball in just a key area in front of goals. But no, Derrygonnelly should never let the Ederney out of the corner at that stage. The tackling was very slack to let them in on top of goal from position. It didn't look to be any danger initially. So some definitely defensive holes that Ederney seemed to be punching and finding just with that extra runner and again that bit of pace. 2
goals in the space of 3 minutes has turned this game on its head. It's now Ederney who lead 2-5 to 4 points. That's 11 points to 4. 7 points between the teams as we are 5 minutes away from the half-time whistle. Derrygonnelly need a score or two. Can they get one with McGovern? Gets the shot. That looks good from Garrett McGovern. That's a fine effort from Garrett McGovern. He had the confidence to take that forward to the young 20-year-old and popped it over the bar. Good score, a badly needed score.
Good score by Gareth. And again, look, he showed good balance, which he definitely has. He has a jink off both sides. Another great kick by Chris has found Conor McGee. They're on the break without the +1 in place at this stage. So the chance of a score here if they switch the ball quickly.
McGee, was that touched on the ground? The referee says it was. Yeah, Ryan Maguire touched it on the ground. Jared Goller keeping up the play and keeping his eye on everything that's happening, and he spotted that indiscretion. And now Derrygonnelly have an opportunity with Aidan McKenna. McKenna looks up, fists the ball to McGullion. McGullion being held up by Luke Harn. McGullion steadies down, looks at the post, get the shot away. That's a fine effort by Stephen McGullion. He just stole himself a yard, and that's all he needed, and popped it over the bar with great confidence.
Yeah, good score by Stevie. That's it exactly. A bit more of a measured ball inside. It's and he finished well with a bit of composure.
So 2 important scores in a row there from Derrygonnelly in the space of a minute. One from Gareth McGovern, one from Stephen McGullion. Brings the gap back down to 5 points as we go into the last 3 minutes of this very entertaining opening half here in St Joseph's Park in Ederney. Wherever you are in the world, we hope you're enjoying this broadcast here on a Thursday evening. It's grey. It's a grey evening. It's quite a warm day, but it's cool enough where we are here in the stand with the wind slightly behind Ederney in this first half, favouring the men from North Fermanagh, and they lead this game 2-5 to 6 points, and they're in possession of the football with Jacob Britton. Britton lays it back there to Finbar Gillen. Gillen, calm and assured on the ball, gives it crossfield now, looking for Oren McGee. Patience, the name of the game here for the Ederney men. Gives the ball slipped inside there to Paul McKervey. McKervey, strong, powerful young man as well, striding forward, has support from the man who started the move. That's Jacob Britton. Britton steadies down, looks at the post, can he finish? Shot is on its way. That's a fine effort by Jacob Britton. A wonderful score from Jacob Britton. And him and Andy Cassidy as 2 wing half backs, they have been so important to Ederney's cause in this game.
Yeah, you're spot on, Jed. I was just going to say that they've caused them loads of trouble with Decky as well. It's the one line is punching holes, but a very composed finish by Jacob.
Well, I was noting the score from Jacob Britton. I heard the oohs and the ahs here in the stand. So, Kieran, I don't know whether you're looking at that. It's
looking nothing overly malicious, No, I don't think
Jacob Britton,
it's
over.
He seems to maybe a knock on the head. I'm not sure, but.
We might be able to get a
rerun of it.
Another look at it, possibly.
I don't think there's anything majorly in it now.
Yeah, I didn't see it at all now because there was, there's a bit of a nonsense going on now, and the referee probably just needs to step in and eradicate that. I see the indication being there that it's a blood sub required, so still players just need to move away, let the officials deal with it, and
yeah, he definitely has been influential. Jacob will be a big loss now if there is he has an injury, but
right. Well, we'll hopefully see Jacob back on his feet quite soon. I didn't see the clash, Kieran. Did you?
No, it was just a kick out, and he seemed to both of them seemed to just turn and collide as the ball was dropping. But I don't think there was any major malice in it. But he would be a major loss for them now. He's been a plus, and as he's saying, he's one of the players that have really used the ball well and seems to be getting in over the top, and Derrygonnelly seem to be switching off on that runner. But
it looks like Ederney are going to have to make a blood sub change at least, and maybe a permanent change. We'll pick that up in a moment, but it's James Devaney who's coming on to the field of play for Ederney, and it looks like Jacob Britton was going to have to come off for a period of time, but we are approaching half time, so hopefully he can maybe be able to resume in the second half, because as we were just talking about, he kicked a wonderful point, and he's been really important for Ederney from an attacking perspective. As he's on his feet, looks a little bit groggy, but he's getting the attention that he needs at this juncture, and will make his way off. And the referee now having a word with Stephen McGullion, and I'm not sure what the colour of the card was there.
It seemed to be a red, Jet. I'm not sure, but
yeah, it seemed to be a red card. Yeah, so Stephen McGullion has been sent off the field of play, and well, a dramatic few moments. We might try and get that clip at some stage and have a look at it at half time and bring you up to speed. As I say, I was looking at my notes, or writing my notes on Jacob Britton's score, so I didn't see the incident at all, but it's a significant incident in the context of this game, because not only has Jacob Britton had to leave the field of play, but Stephen McGullion has been sent off and will evidently not play any further part in this game. That's a significant moment, Kieran, you would think.
Yeah, look, at Ederney were happened to keep the ball well enough for 15, and seem composed. So that extra player now gives them that extra outlet ball all the time. So Derrygonnelly are going to be chasing this quite a bit with already being 6 down. They have responded well since the last goal, in fairness to them, but it's they'll probably find that maybe have to abandon their sweeper, but potentially and push on, push Aaron Jones on up the field.
It's an uphill task, and there goes the half-time whistle. Very little injury time played as Jared Goller blows his whistle in St Joseph's Park here in Ederney. And well, it's been an excellent first half of football. We've had 2 goals and 12 points scored in that first half. 2-6 going the way of the Ederney men, and 6 points the way of Derrygonnelly. Those 2 goals from Conor McGee and Marty McGrath in the space of 3 minutes in the 22nd and the 25th minute of the game. Pivotal scores. Derrygonnelly have plenty of work to do in the dressing room at half time.
They definitely do, Jet. The fact maybe they're playing with a wee bit of a breeze in the second half, but again, look, the fact that Ederney have an extra man will probably negate that as well. But they're going to now have to probably abandon that sweeper. I'm not sure what the send off really was for. Now I would like to see a rerun of it again.
Yeah, well, we'll hopefully get a look at it at maybe half time, and we'll be able to inform viewers of what exactly the incident was. But the referee, he's handled the game very well. He was beside the incident, and well, he was clear when Jacob.
In fairness, he has had a good game up to that, But it's obviously something he was very clear on. But no, Derrygonnelly are really going to have to up their game now. Look, they're missing a lot of key players, if you've alluded to earlier, Jet. A lot of big name players who normally stand up for them in these sort of situations, but it's probably a perfect situation for them, because they're going to find out about some of these younger players what they're like in this sort of environment, which they're going to need for the heat of the championship battle. But Ederney have showed just a lot of composure. They look really slick on the ball. Have great
more settled. They seem like a team that know what they're about. There's more structure to them. They're laying the ball off the man off the shoulder, whereas Derrygonnelly are a wee bit more erratic in their attack and play in particular. Is that fair?
They are, and maybe that's reflective too of the missing players that have been playing regularly together. With a lot of their changes, that they haven't played maybe as a unit as much. Maybe with Ryan and Garv missing, but Ederney just seem they've that youthfulness. They have always a runner. They've always an option. They've the outlet kick inside to Marty, and they're getting runners off that. The 2 McCuskers, Paul McCusker's got through a massive amount of work. His work rate, he's dropping back. He's got in a couple of vital tackles as well. Conor McGee, Mark McCauley, very composed in the ball. You always feel when he's in that scoring zone that he's going to finish. He looks very, very composed. they're utilising Oran McGee as a +1, and he hasn't really ventured forward much, but again, he's big and he's physical, and maybe that's an option, the fact that they maybe were aware that Derrygonnelly were going to probably hit in direct high ball with maybe Steve McGullion drifting in, but it'll be interesting to see how what way Derrygonnelly will try to counteract or push it with the man down. They probably will have to abandon it, but both styles of play initially up to that were mimicking each other, a +1, everybody else was man marking, but yet Ederney were finding those pockets a wee bit easier.
Sets it up nicely for the second half, 14 against 15. Derrygonnelly playing with whatever breeze there is. It sets it up for an intriguing second half, because Derrygonnelly, it goes without saying, will have to throw the shackles off and go for it.
They definitely will. Look, at the fact they've got a wee bit of the breeze will no doubt help them, but they're going to have to try to get a few of their bigger players into the game a wee bit more, Shane and Connell and that, just in general play. But they just don't seem to have that final pass on, or just they forced a couple of shots. Did one drop short, did a couple of bad forced shots. So that extra pass is going to be vital for them in the second half.
Just getting a little look at that incident. Not a great viewing of it. So can't really comment on it. We might get a better look at it at half time and let you know what the story was. We'll just maybe give one more look at it here, will we? Putting our producer tonight, Phil Flanagan, under a bit of pressure, but Phil doesn't do pressure, I don't think. So yeah, here we go now. We're going to get a look at it. Yeah, there's Jacob Britton's score. It's down below. Here we'll leave it for half time. Just a word, I know there's a great Ederney man on holiday at the moment down in Killarney. That's Marty Monaghan. I know he's tuned in and watching tonight's proceedings from his beloved Ederney St Joseph's, a key man, of course, in the club, looking after the grounds and the youth and so on and so forth. So, Marty, we hope you're enjoying what you've seen in the first half. I'm sure you're enjoying the scoreboard anyway, and we hope you're behaving yourself down in Killarney. So, half time here in St Joseph's Park in Ederney on Fermanagh GAA TV. The scoreboard reads Ederney St Joseph's 2-6, Derrygonnelly Harps 6 points. Join us for second half coverage. Welcome back here to St Joseph's Park in Ederney. Second half just about to get underway. A good buzz around the stand at half time. Kieran, plenty to talk about, plenty to discuss.
Yeah, definitely an interesting second half. See, all right, Oisin Smith has moved into sixth to Mark Macaulay. You know, he was fairly prolific, so that'll be an interesting tussle as well. +1 Luke Horn seems to be the man that Derrygonnelly have decided to leave free. That's the number 3. So they'll probably let him have time on the ball and press out everybody else.
Yeah, Colin Jones picks up possession of the football. Louis Donnelly. That's a fine effort by Colin Jones. That's gone over the bar. That's a super score. It was really a shot to nothing because the advantage hand had gone up from the referee and he elected to go for it, and that's a brilliant score.
Yeah, utilised that well. Look at again up at a breeze. Breeze actually has picked up a wee bit, you know, but Connell has that in his locker. He can comfortably score from distance.
So first score of the second half, third score of the game from Colin Jones. Leads it to 6 to 7 points here in Ederney. Ball in the possession of the Ederney full forward. Well, he's playing in the middle of the field. That's Conor McGee. Monaghan got a goal in the first half. Threads a ball inside, but well read on that occasion by Lee Jones. And Derrygonnelly have started the second half brightly as I thought they would. Shane McGullion coming forward. McGullion 45 metres out, faced up by his county colleague. That's taking McCusker. There's a powerful run from McGullion. He's taken down there by Michael Maguire, who came across and committed the free, and Maguire could well go into the referee's book for that foul.
Yeah, very unlike Ederney there in that first phase of play. They didn't have to force a pass inside. They have the extra player that could have worked it a wee bit more, but they again forced a kick pass into Lee Jones, who was sitting as the +1. But a real good run from Shane there, caused him loads of trouble. Was very direct.
He left Jackie McCusker in his wake.
He did. He showed a great turn of pace there and cut inside. They really struggled to catch him at that stage. So no. First two scores makes a game of it.
Certainly does. Michael Maguire goes into the referee's notebook, and Colin Jones's point will also go into the referee's notebook. And as Kieran has alluded to there, 2 early scores in the second half, both from Colin Jones, means that it's now down to a 4-point game.
Yeah, short kick out by Chris. I take it Derrygonnelly are going to give Chris the kick out now and then just get back and just filter back.
In possession, down below us is Luke Harn. Is it there to Ronan or number 24? We haven't been told who number 24 is, but we'll try and find that out at some stage. Louis Donnelly does well again, holds off Ryan McGovern, comes out strongly with it. Still Donnelly, still going, goes to ground, wins the free. A young lad, he's doing well out here.
Yeah, he's a big frame. You know, he definitely strides well and is purposeful in his movement, very direct.
So one for the future definitely is Louis Donnelly. His ball fed down now towards Paul McCusker. McCusker flicks it inside there to Paul McCurvey. McCurvey, ball goes to ground, picked up on this occasion by the Derrygonnelly men, and yes, Jacob Britton is back on there wearing number 24 for Ederney. So good to see Jacob back on the field of play. Another turnover. Ryan Maguire picks out the ball, gives it up there to Mark Macaulay. Macaulay cutting inside, but Oisin Smith does well. Goes to ground. Referee awards the free. Been an interesting battle between these two lads in the second half.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I only have give away 3 really slack turnovers at the start of the second half when they should be composed and a wee bit more controlled a game, especially with the extra man. So unlike them here, the way they've started very edgy.
That ball is well defended on that occasion by Michael Maguire. Just getting the last drop of the coffee into us. The half-time provisions were excellent here in Ederney, as the hospitality really good. As coming forward on the home side again with Luke Harn. Harn gives it now to the aforementioned Jacob Britton. Gives it to Louis Donnelly. Donnelly slips it inside. Nicely picked up by Paul McCurvey. McCurvey looking for Marty McGrath inside. Him and Tiernan Daly battle for the game, but McGrath does well. Still going. McGrath needs support, I would suggest. Has it there. Eventually gives the ball back out there to Ryan Maguire. Maguire be forced out to the corner. Derrygonnelly with plenty of numbers. They've defended that very well, forced it back out to Decky McCusker. McCusker, not a good ball from Decky, easily picked up by Aaron Jones. And Jones gives it to Eamon McHugh. McHugh now, eventually, that's a foul on McHugh, I would suggest, yeah. Free will be taken quickly by Shane McGullion. Referee wants it brought back to where Eamon McHugh was fouled. And we're looking at our behind the goals camera this evening, a new addition to Fermanagh GAA TV. We hope you like that facility as the ball is thrown forward there to Shane McGullion. McGullion to Lee Jones. Jones gives it to Aidan McKenna. McKenna lays it out one more time. The experience of Derrygonnelly will be so important in this second half. Ball crossfield now to Ryan McGovern, one of the younger players. McGovern gets a shot away. That's another excellent score. So Ryan McGovern with a point and Conal Jones with 2 points. It means that Derrygonnelly have made a very impressive start the second half.
Yeah, and came from another turnover, a fist pass from Decky that didn't find a man. They really are handling this game, inviting Derrygonnelly back into this game solely from their lack of composure on the ball, which we thought was their strength in the first half. But great score from Ryan McGovern. He showed great composure. He jinked in. Just a bit of pace and energy when he's in possession, and a real composed finish.
Yeah, excellent score. Ball thrown up, picked up by Conal Jones. Jones was held up by, that's probably too long. Yeah, referee awards the free. Jones, the two number 14s, having a bit of a set to now. Referee keeping a tight eye on what's happening here. A lot of players in the middle of it, but the two 14s will be the players I would think that will be called aside. So we'll wait on our referee to deal with this one. There wasn't a whole lot in it, Kieran.
Not a massive amount yet, no. Look, I think he just wanted to play on at this stage.
Yeah, just a word with Conal. Play can resume. Decky McCusker. Our referee doesn't get too hot and bothered. He keeps it nice and calm, doesn't he?
Nice and composed. Yeah. That's the way you want them.
Yeah. Ball now in the hands of Conor McGee. Back to Harn. Cross to Paul McCusker. Breeze, as Kieran alluded to, picking up a little, favouring Derrygonnelly. Probably breezier down on the pitch than what it is up here in the stand as well. As we look at the sideline flag blowing and waving in the wind as Michael Maguire picks it up. Lays it back. Ederney without a score in this second half. 7 minutes played. Decky McCusker now trying to put that right. McCusker outside of the right boot, but didn't get enough spin on it. So it's been a low scoring in terms of the wides. That's only the third wide that Ederney have kicked.
Yeah, Decky cut through fairly easy there. Lee Jones now is the plus one as the six. So, but they're still Derrygonnelly are still playing with that option. But it's suiting them because Ederney aren't playing with the same energy, and those have seemed to have the same options to the ball carrier. So well on top. And often you find that the team of 14 players often raise their game.
Lift their game, yeah. And they're in possession of the football again with Conor Burns. Good ball threaded through to McGullion. McGullion very direct. That looks like a foul on McGullion by a lazy hand from Owen McGee, and this will give Conal Jones another opportunity to split the posts. And the referee wants a word with Owen McGee. There wasn't a whole lot in it, but maybe it's a number of fouls possibly. Yeah, yellow card.
Yeah, just a lazy tackle. He didn't move his feet. He just tended to lunge into it. And Conal is deciding to take this out of his hands. He's been excellent off the ground to date.
Slightly surprised at that as Conal steadies down, kicks it right footed, looks good. I think it is good. It is, yeah. His third point of the second half, his fifth point of this game, means that we're down to just a 2-point game.
Yeah, good strike by Conal. It's a mixture of Derrygonnelly lifting it. There's more energy, there's more bite in the tackle, but Ederney's use of possession has been really poor again. They've given Chris Snow the kick out.
If you were managing this Ederney team, you know, is there anything you can change? Is there anything you would do to try and stem the tide?
Well, it's all from the simplicity. They're not using their extra man. They're taking contact when they don't need to. They're forcing kick passes. I think they've given away 4 or 5 on forced errors. So it nearly is as simple as keeping the ball better and making Derrygonnelly work, because they're the team with a man down. So they should be fit to control the football and make Derrygonnelly work that bit harder. But it's the exact opposite. Derrygonnelly are getting a high press on. Ederney are taking ball into areas of the pitch that they don't need to. So they're playing right into Derrygonnelly's hands.
Yeah, there's another example as Louis Donnelly overcarried, and Colin Jones has the effort. That's a brilliant score by Colin Jones. He certainly has his eye in tonight. That's his 6th point of the game, his 4th of the second half, and that's a wonderful score there, Kieran.
Great score now from a tight angle, and look, he's been doing that all night. Again, Luke Horn's the free player in the game. Derrygonnelly are deciding to leave him and let him have the ball. Again, often a tactic the teams use. So
11 points to 12, just 1 point between the sides. Ederney are in possession. Was the ball out over the sideline? Looks as if it was. So everything, all the little things are going the way of Derrygonnelly, but they're working hard and making those things happen.
They're working harder, but again they isolate themselves down the sideline. Ederney when they had to switch back across with that extra player. So, but again, as you said, Jet, they're a different team in terms of their energy and application this half.
Yeah, Sean Flanagan, Shane Ward, Mickey Glenn and Paul Green, the management team over there, will be uplifted by this second half performance to date. 5 points without response. And here's another opportunity. We've only played 11 minutes of the second half, and if this goes over, sides will be all level.
Yeah, excellent ball indeed. McKenna won that very well. He's definitely proven an outlet this half. He seems to be holding his line a wee bit higher up the pitch as well. So
yeah, he had a slow start to the game, but he's worked himself into it.
He has. Look at his low centre of gravity, and he's busy, and his movement's quite good in there this half as well. So Colin's going to have a go from this angle. It's going to prove a difficult one for a right footer, but
he's going to hit it off the ground as well. So I think he's looking at an option here, if at all possible, to go short. The way he's coming at this, you would think he's going to kick it left-footed too. He is kicking it left-footed. Well, I didn't think he had that in his locker. Well,
yeah, funny, it's something I have never saw Colin do before. But he feels, I suppose, he's on top of his game. He was going to give it a go.
Yeah, well, that's his first wide. Derrygonnelly's 3rd wide of the game. 3 wides apiece. 2-6 to 11. 1 point game here in St Joseph's Park in Ederney. Another turnover, unforced, I would suggest. Again. Oh, and Ederney get it. Oh, that's a high challenge by Colin Jones. And well, the crowd's reaction will tell you what to think of that. I mean, no need really.
No, there wasn't at that stage. No. You fell at that area of the pitch.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what our referee decides to do. They will have another look at it. It's a dangerous tackle, Kieran. It's just high.
Yeah, it was high. Yeah. But again, as you say, at that, especially in that stage of the pitch, in that area of the pitch, it wasn't needed.
Yeah, well, referee Jared Goller will have a decision to make. He calls Colin Jones over. So it'll be interesting to see what the colour is. It's a yellow card. And probably right, Kieran. You know, it wasn't overly malicious. So
look at I don't think he was going to show the red, especially after giving the first one in the first half anyway. But no, look, it would have been.
You just need to
definitely
need to be careful.
Yeah, he needs to be careful for the rest of the game. That's probably a bit of history with Conor McGee and Colin that wrestled in the last incident. So there's a bit of a follow on from that.
Well, there's a bit of chat now going on between Maxie Curran and Colin Jones. So it's hotting up. We'll have an exciting 17 minutes, I'm sure. Point between the sides. Exactly.
No, it's definitely going to be a good end of the game here, because Derrygonnelly do seem up for it. They're laying down a marker this half. They could easily lay down, but a lot of the younger players have stepped up.
Ederney haven't scored in this half to date. Paul McCusker will try to right that. Ball fed in, but brilliant defensive play again by Lee Jones. Does really, really well. Referee allows play to continue. Jones goes back, picks up possession, and Ward's the free. High challenge again. So another free for
Great interception by Aaron Jones, great tackle Aaron Jones on young Maguire. Look, he was good in the first half. Aaron has went on to him now. Aaron was playing as the +1 in the first half, so he's now into man mark, which is his strength, to be honest. You know, and he's nullified him, and not with Oisin Smith and Macaulay.
Here's a man having a good half as well. Shane McCulley is very, very direct, and here's another example of it. He has a man off his shoulder if need be. One of them is Conal Jones. Conal Jones still in possession. Lays it back there now to Ian McKenna. The ball fired in. Ball has gone to the left and gone wide. Second wide in a row for Derrygonnelly.
Yeah, great, excellent move. Shane has brought that bit of extra energy and drive. Again, a short kick out given to Luke. But it often is that if you're a man down, you need a player to be able to beat their man, and Shane is giving that outlet for Derrygonnelly this half.
See Darren McGurn and Mickey Cassidy roaring out instructions there as Paul McKervey floats a high ball in. The goalkeeper Jack Kelly comes and does well, watched it all the way and claimed it there.
Yeah, poor ball in by Paul. It was too high. It wasn't the right trajectory for Marty to attack.
Another opportunity now for Lee Jones to drive this Derrygonnelly team forward. The trail here by a point. They've scored 5 points in a row in the second half. Just 1 point between us. 15 minutes played. We're into the last quarter here on Fermanagh GAA TV. Monaghan Brothers Fermanagh GAA TV here this evening live from Ederney. The wonderful facilities here in St Joseph's Park as Conal Jones holds up the ball. 2 men get round him. Do the force the turnover they do. That was a good play there by Conor McGee and Paul McCusker. McCusker now continues his run. Looks up and looks for the brother. The brother's Declan over the far side of the field. Declan cutting inside now. We're trying to get onto the right foot. Gives it back inside to Macaulay. That's a brilliant move. Can it be finished? No, the ball is intercepted. I think it was Mickey Jones or Kieran Daly got back inside there. And, well, if that ball had been flicked across, it would have probably ended up in the net.
Yeah, and it's reflective again. A bad hand pass, been intercepted. They just need to score, Ederney. Probably at that stage, maybe a point just to settle themselves. They just seem very unnervy and just can't seem to link any play at all.
A tick there for Ryan Maguire for that foul. So the free will go the way of Ederney, or Derrygonnelly, I should say. Still a point in. We haven't had a score for the last 7 minutes. Derrygonnelly in possession of the football with Shane McGullion. A growing influence on this game, I would suggest, is McGullion. The brother, of course, Stephen, sent off in the first half. Straight red card for an altercation with Jacob Britton. The ball fed inside. The referee had his hand up. No advantage accrued, so therefore the free will go the way of Derrygonnelly.
Yeah, Mickey Jones happened to break, was through there if he had let that one go. But again, good movement inside by Gilroy now. They just seem to be measuring the ball better. And again, their use of it is better. Aaron Jones in the ball here now has a real good solid second half as well. Yeah,
here comes Aaron, just 20 years of age. Lays it off to Shane McGullion. McGullion back to Lee Jones. Lee Jones still go driving forward. Flicks the ball over the top. Attacking McCusker read the intention. Got back inside, filled that space and turned over the football. And Ederney now come again looking for the first score of the second half. They played 17 minutes of the second half. Ball in the hands now of Luke Hearn. Still Hearn has options left and right. One of the options is Louis Donnelly. Elects to come back inside. Lays it into Macaulay. Macaulay gets away for the first time in the second half from Oisin Smith, but Macaulay drops it short. Another short into the Derrygonnelly goalkeeper's hands, and Jack Kelly will take them all day and he'll drive his team forward in the presence now of Tiernan Daly. Daly, the 30-year-old, coming forward over the far side of the field. His side trailed by a point. Ball flicked inside, not the best ball in the world, and Conal Jones didn't make it, and the ball has been turned over, and out comes Declan McCusker again with the football. 65 metres out from his own goal. McCusker has support there from Louis Donnelly. Donnelly has it. Another man creating an overlap with Finbar Gillen. Gillen receives the ball. Gillen steadies down, looks at the post, was thinking about the shot, but will have to turn back out because Garrett McGovern's forcing him into the corner. Lays it out one more time to Declan McCusker. McCusker has Macaulay as an option. Macaulay onto the right foot. Lays it back now instead. Gets it back one more time. Eventually comes back to Paul McKervey. McKervey back to Paul McCusker. McCusker steadies down. Pops the ball over the far side of the field towards Andy Cassidy. Cassidy got a point in the first half. He'll not get a point in the second half with that effort there. It's gone to the right hand side and gone wide, and Ederney have gone 19 minutes of this second half without a score.
Yeah, look, great, good tackling by Derrygonnelly. They showed Mark McCauley onto his right foot all the time, and he was always looking back on his left. Oisin Smith has been very disciplined on him this half, which has made a big difference. They seem to have nullified their two key men, Aaron Jones onto Young Maguire, Oisin Smith onto McCauley, has negated a lot of their strengths. Kieran Daly is probably the lack of ball again into Marty, probably has meant he's had to drift out a wee bit, but it's just incredible. They seem a different team, Ederney, this half. I count they've given 9 unforced balls away in possession, which was unlike their form in the first half, but just their energy and work rate. Derrygonnelly, a lot of their younger players, Joe McGovern has stepped up, and their movement inside is a lot better. Lee Jones is bringing that bit of drive as well from deep. So as you expect, they're county champions. They're always going to respond.
Well, it looks like Jacob Britton's day is now done. He's been replaced by James Devaney, and Derrygonnelly win the free. Oisin Smith, or it was Conor Burns on that occasion. Ball being hassled and tied and pulled on there. The referee says there's a foul, and therefore Mickey Jones is penalised. The ball is now in the hands of Paul McCusker. Gives it off there to Paul McKervey. McKervey gives it inside back to McCusker. McCusker comes across there. That looked like a foul, I would think, by Eamon McHugh, and Paul McCusker goes to ground. Referee may well want a word with Eamon McHugh. It looked that he came across him. I'm not sure where he caught him, but it'll be interesting again to see what our referee makes of this incident.
Yeah, he went to line him up for a shoulder. I just think Paul sort of sidestepped and then caught him on the side of the head, maybe slightly. But Ederney really need this score just to settle them into the game, to get them back into a wee bit of form. But Paul McCusker will always bring Ederney that wee bit extra drive and cut. He's always reliable to get Ederney back into the game, which Mark McCauley should finish this.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the scores, a quick look at my notes, and I don't think that Ederney have scored anything from play tonight. No frees.
No frees, that's right, Jet. Yeah, no, exactly. Some of their scores were excellent this half, but again, second half, where they were complacent, thought it was just going to happen. It's often the case. They've stopped doing what was working for them in the first half.
Well, there'll be an opportunity now. It'll be Mark McCauley's your man. You're back in to kick this one with the left boot. Is the ball in his hand, is it? Mark that has it?
Yeah, look, Mark has proven to be, over the past few years, he's a very stylish player, a lovely cultured left foot, very, very good game intelligence. Derrygonnelly really have spotted that and decided to nullify it. Takes a lot of oxygen out of Ederney's team when his link play is nullified. So you back him to finish this. He's a big game player for them. And
this is an important game for Derrygonnelly, because you look at the league table. I know it's early days. This is only the third game, but they are the reigning league champions, and they're sitting on 5 points after one victory and 1 defeat. As Mark McCauley steadies down, kicks this one left footed, kicks it well. First score of the second half from Mark McCauley, but first score 22.5 minutes played in the second half, and that's the first score. At half time, you wouldn't have predicted that.
You wouldn't have predicted. No, as you said, Jen, it's a big game for both teams sitting on 5 points in the league tables. They'll want to keep get creeping up the table.
Yeah, because there's only 9 games in the league. You lose 2 of those, and you're probably leaving yourself in a difficult place to get to a league final. As Ederney come again, the referee put his hand up there. It was Declan McCusker that was fouled. The referee allowed the advantage to be played, none accrued, and this is another chance, and this time it'll probably be Paul McCusker with the right boot.
Yeah, Paul will hit this, but that'll give Ederney the first chance to put a high aggressive press on Derrygonnelly's kick. The mark's only there in the middle in that period, so he didn't have a pocket, then he had to force it to his right, so they got possession. So again, they'll probably try something similar, pushing up higher and force Jack into a mistake.
Oh, Paul McCusker's shot has gone to the right hand side and gone wide. You would have fancied Paul from there, but that's his first effort at the post. They've been limited in terms of the number of frees they've had tonight.
Exactly, it was would have backed him to score it, but as you say, it was his first effort.
Now there's an opportunity for Ryan McGovern coming through the centre. McGovern still going. Louis Donnelly trying to get back on. Chris Snow comes out, does really well. Can they finish with a point? Shane McGullion's the man in possession. McGullion turns on the left foot. That's a fine score from Shane McGullion. He was calm, he was composed, he was controlled, and he popped it over the bar. 1 point game.
Real good score, and sometimes the danger of going really aggressive on a high press is that a kick over the top took out a lot of their players, which proved there, and they got the run on them, and a good finish by Shane on his left foot.
Well, 24 minutes played. We knew that this was a big game. We knew it would be close, and it's proven both of those things here tonight. 1 point between the sides. We're into the last 5 minutes here on Monaghan Brothers Fermanagh GAA TV. Wherever you are in the world, we hope you're enjoying this one. It's league football, but it's been played like a championship match here. This remaining 5 minutes, I'm sure, will be hot and heavy as Paul McKervey comes forward for Ederney. Lays a good ball inside there for Casty. Casty lays it back to Macaulay. Macaulay on the left boot. Macaulay gets a shot in. McGrath tries to get a hand on it, but it's gone to the right hand side. It's gone wide. Number 6 for the Ederney men. And they still lead by 1 point with 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, you will back Mark, but again, that was a shot he didn't need to take. There was another pass and that. Again, they don't need to panic, they don't need to rush things. Jack has got that kick out of the way short.
Lee Jones coming forward with it again. Jones lays it off there. Substitute on the Derrygonnelly team is Brian McKenna, young player, youngest brother of the 3 McKennas. There's Gary, there's Aidan, and this is Brian. So Brian McKenna thrown into the cauldron here for the last 5 minutes of this game. Derrygonnelly have the free. They would play it short. Back it goes to Oisin Smith. Smith lays it forward there to Conor Burns. Burns 45 metres out. Surveys his options. One of them is Mickey Jones. Jones lays it inside. Ball picked up on this occasion by Stephen Gilroy. Gilroy lays it back out to Conal Jones. Jones, the pressure goes on. Conal Jones by Conor McGee. This has been a good battle between these two throughout. Jones still in possession. Still going forward. Did he carry it too long? Referee says no. That's a huge effort by Conal Jones. What a score by Conal Jones. His 7th of the game. For one moment I thought the referee's whistle was going to go, Kieran, that he may have carried it too long. But the referee allowed play to continue, and Jones stroked that one with aplomb over the bar. What a score.
Excellent score by Conal outside of his boot. Yeah, he showed just composure at that vital stage. As you said, it looked maybe potentially as if he'd overcarried it, but he just got his shot away in time. So no, it's all in the melting pot now. Ederney really have invited a lot of trouble onto themselves. But again, it's up to them now. It's a good test for both teams. I think that's exactly what they want. To see how they'll respond in these last few minutes.
Well, it's what both teams want, and it's also what our audience, I'm sure, want. Watching this one on the edge of their seats, wherever they are in the world. Paul McCusker goes to ground. Referee says there's nothing wrong with what has happened there, and therefore play will continue. Maguire tries to battle for it, but it's going to break way the way of the men from Derrygonnelly, and Shane McGullion, I think it was, back there. What a powerful second half he has had.
It really is. It's mirrored. Look, they seem to have got body, even though they're a man down, they've got bodies around the ball carrier, and turned Ederney over on several occasions. So that's another reflection of their work rate.
This will be some win for Derrygonnelly if they can get another score to put them in front as we enter the last 3 minutes of the game. Remember, they trailed by 6 points at half time, 2 points to 6. They have scored 7 points to 1 in the second half in their favour. Ball goes to ground. Who's back battling for it? That's Marty McGrath. McGrath left his full forward station to come out and win the ball. Ball towards Devaney. Devaney wins it, lays it off to McGrath. McGrath has a runner. That runner's taking Costco, but McGrath's still going. McGrath goes to ground. Brilliant from Aaron Jones. What a tackle by Aaron Jones. You talk about players that have had excellent second halves. Well, you look at the 2 Joneses brothers. There's the other one, Aaron and Lee. And of course, you throw into the mix Oisin Smith and Shane McGullion. There's been a powerful second half from the Harps.
Yeah, that's Aaron's strength, is his timing in the tackle, and he just played that perfectly with Marty. Probably Marty should have had slipped earlier, but again, Aaron's timing is first class.
Well, Jack Kelly has possession of the football. We look at the watch. It says 28 minutes and 10 seconds played here on Monaghan Brothers Fermanagh GAA TV. Ball goes to ground. Oisin Smith can't get his hands on it. It's picked up there by the hard-working Ryan Maguire. Maguire gathers it. Great tension, great excitement here in St Joseph's Park in Ederney. This is the Westville Hotel Senior Football League Division 1 game. Owen Louis Donnelly in possession of the football. Donnelly lays it back one more time. Ball now in the hands of the full forward. Well, he's playing midfield, Conor McGee. Here's a goal to his name. Ball slipped out now to Decky McCusker. McCusker doesn't take it in the first attempt. Goes for it from the outside of the boot, but Decky's shot has gone to the right hand side and gone wide. Side still level, 13 apiece. We've played 28 minutes and 52 seconds. All to play for here, Kieran?
All to play for, yeah. Just again, probably another forced shot from Ederney that they didn't need to take. I would like to see them working Derrygonnelly a wee bit more and holding possession just to try to tease Derrygonnelly out again when they've the extra man. But look at Decky backed himself there, but it didn't work out for him.
Eamon McHugh makes his way off the field of play. He's replaced by Niall Maguire for these last few moments here in this league match. No doubt these sides will meet somewhere along the line later in the year, I would think. What a kick from Jack Kelly. Finds Shane McGullion. McGullion now has an opportunity for Derrygonnelly. Decky McCusker puts the hand in. Still McGullion has it. McGullion goes to ground. Also in there fighting for this Finbar Gillen. Gillen looks as if he's forced the turnover. The referee is going to award the free, is he? No, he's going to throw the ball up for the looks of things.
Yeah, they recovered well out of it. Excellent kick by Jack. It was probably the only pocket he could hit because again Owen McGee had pushed up into the middle his only. So first class kick by Jack. But
super kick, and McGullion was onto it but couldn't get away. Finbar Gillen doing the hard work along with Decky McCusker. Now Ederney take the ball out. They have an opportunity maybe to win the game themselves with Luke Hearn. Remember, Ederney have 15 players on the pitch for the whole of the second half. Derrygonnelly have been down to 14, but Derrygonnelly are the team in the ascendancy in this second half. They've scored 7 points. Ederney have only registered the one. One more could win it for them. Coming forward is Andy Caste, son, of course, of the manager Mickey. Ball fed back inside to McGee. McGee to McCusker. McCusker coming forward. Brilliant run by Michael Maguire. Takes a man inside. Creates a little bit of space for Luke Hearn. Hearn coming forward. He has number 3 in his back. Has he feet? The answer is he lays it off to Maguire. Maguire certainly has feet. That's a wonderful score from Ryan Maguire. Worthy of winning any game. But Derrygonnelly aren't gone yet. I would suggest there will be a few minutes of extra time. But what a score from Ryan Maguire.
Yeah, great score. It's the first time Ryan has got away from Aaron Jones this whole half. Luke Hearn, who Derrygonnelly have elected to leave free, came forward inside the 45 and showed a bit of composure now to Ryan Kemdo, but a real good finish with his left foot.
Well, there's only 2 minutes played of extra time in the first half. Will there be more in the second? We've played 31 minutes and 12 seconds. It's all happening out here. Jared Gollard trying to keep track of everything that's happening. There's another substitution comes on the field of play. It looks like Cormac Gollockley, wearing number 17, coming on as one of the Ederney players is down on the pitch receiving some attention. Well, it's been an exciting game of football in the second half. It's been incredible.
It really has, and again, this is what both teams need. They need to find out of themselves in the heat of battle and how they respond. Look at Ederney showed that's the first bit of composure nearly in the whole half. They showed in that last passage of play where they carried the ball inside and waited till Ryan and came to Luke is down here at the minute, but no, it's vital. Like if Ederney are smart here, they will keep the ball. They should be fit to utilise the extra man and tease Derrygonnelly out. So this will test them in this last 2 or 3 minutes.
Well, Luke Hearn's going to make his way off the field of play, and he's been a loss because they had a good second half. He's known when to stay back, and of course, as Kieran says, knew when to go forward as the ball hasn't been put out by Yashin Smith. Done really, really well there. The ball is thrown across. The ball breaks loose. Who's going to pick it up? As Paul McKervey has it for the Ederney man. McKervey lays it off to Finbar Gillen. We must be in the dire numbers of the game. Here comes Macaulay. Macaulay for Ederney. The lead by a point. Ball flicked inside to McGee. McGee goes strong. Through the middle he goes. The referee says the hand went in over the shoulder, and that will result in a free for the men from Ederney. And I would suggest that this could well be the last kick of the game and will seal the deal for Ederney St Joseph's.
Yeah, there was a couple of bad errors from both teams there. I'd said about Ederney keeping the ball and they give it away straight away, and then Derrygonnelly have probably given away 3 or 4 really slack hand passes when they had control of the football. And look, they've invited Ederney onto them there when they had possession, but good strong running by Conor McGee. That's what he brings. He's direct, and he's hard for a big man. He's quite mobile. So you back again, Mark, to finish this.
Yeah, well, McGee will receive some attention and will be back on his feet pretty soon. Mark McCauley has 4 points to his name tonight. This is an important kick. This will put 2 points between the sides. We're deep into injury time. This could even be the last kick of the game. McCauley steadies down, edge of the D, straight in front of the goals. Kicks it left-footed, kicks it superbly well. Kicks his 5th point of the evening and kicks the Ederney men 2 points in front.
Yeah, look, they've responded in the last 5 minutes, Ederney. No doubt their best period of the game. Look, they would have needed that. If they had got pipped here tonight, it would have been very disappointing for them. Another great kick by Jack.
Oh, and well, Declan McCusker knew what he was doing there. That could well be a black card for Declan McCusker, because he took Shane McGullion down, and well, Ederney players are dropping all over the place, but I would say it'll be 14 apiece once Jared Goller administers a black card to Decky McCusker, and really Kieran can have no complaints on that one.
Yeah, no, Decky spotted the danger was there. Like, again, a great kick out by Jack. It's an excellent strike of the ball that he has, and with Oren McGee pushing up high into it, it meant that one kick over the top was going to cut out a lot of Ederney's press. But
Conor McGee going off. They've lost a lot of big players in the last few moments. Luke Harn, Decky McCusker, Conor McGee, and going on there is Evan Kerrigan, a new name for me, but big loss. Now, have the experience to see this one out. I'd say Marty McGrath, if I can find him, is standing somewhere on the edge of the square. Derrygonnelly need to go for a goal. Tiernan Daly has it. Daly tries to break the tackle, gives it inside to Smith. Smith going, gets the shot away. Ball drops short, and it's Chris Snow gets his fist on it, and it indicates that it's a 45. 45, plenty of drama still going. It may well have been Conor Burns and not Oisin Smith that was involved in that piece of play, but it goes out for 45, and I assume this one will be floated into the square and everyone will be packed in as we see Conor McGee making his way off. Well, drama right to the finish. Colin Jones is the man who's going to take the 45. I'm sure he's checked with our referee how long there's left in the game. We have played 35, nearly 36 minutes of a pulsating second half here. Ederney lead by 2 in this Westville Hotel Senior Football League Division 1 game, brought to you here live on Monaghan Brothers Fermanagh GAA TV. This, I talked about the last kick a few moments ago. This certainly must be getting very close to it. Colin Jones steadies down. Will he float it into the square? He kicks it all the way by the looks of things. It looks good. It is good. Over the bar it goes. I'm slightly surprised at that, Kieran.
Yeah, look, maybe the ref let him know that maybe there's another play in this kick out, but again, another great strike by Connell off the ground. It'll be interesting to see whether they do give them another play here to get the equaliser.
Well, 2-9 plays, or 14. That score from Colin Jones is his 8th of the game, and that's why I'm surprised that Colin Jones floated or went for the score and didn't float it into the square, because at the end of the day Derrygonnelly needed a goal to get themselves back in this game, but it wasn't to be.
Yeah, you'd imagine funny he would have got an indicator that there was another play in it, but obviously not. But no, Derrygonnelly probably deserved a draw out of that with their second half display, but Ederney just showed up a bit more composure in that last 5 minutes just to grind it out. 2 big scores at the end for them, but again it was an excellent second half by Derrygonnelly. Showed probably the attitude of champions. They really dug deep, and their work rate was excellent. They were getting group tackles in when you felt that, look, Ederney should have been controlling the football, but Ederney's use of the ball in the second half is something they'd be very worried about. They didn't control it, they didn't utilise the extra man, and they really invited Derrygonnelly onto them.
Hugely competitive game, Kieran, from start to finish, but I suppose we anticipated that. We knew that would probably be the case, and it didn't disappoint.
Exactly. Look, at Ederney, probably this is a big year for them. They'll be feeling, look, they've a lot of key players to come back, as they do Derrygonnelly, but they've tasted success. They've saw Derrygonnelly's run and lost their club, so they'll be keen to get back, in a championship, to win a championship again. Derrygonnelly probably are probably in a similar. It's a massive year for them, because they've tasted, that they're good enough to have a run in an Ulster club. They want to get back there. They're going to have to go through the hard road again. No championship's easy won. So they're both at this stage not a million miles off a championship. needing to find out about players. I think they would have gained a massive amount from that tonight. Look, a lot of the younger players, Ray McGovern, Connor Burns, all of mobility. Shane McGullion was a big plus there tonight. I felt he showed the energy of old. He was breaking tackles, and I think he was one of the players in the second half that held up his hand.
And to be fair to Colin Jones, kicked 8 points there. That's a huge effort in the second half.
Colin, has done that regularly for Derrygonnelly. He's their go-to man in terms of scores. He was very, very composed in front of goals. Look, he did. I thought their movement was a lot better. The two Joneses. Look, at Aaron was the +1 the first half. They decided for him to mark Ryan Maguire. Their switches worked at half time. Derrygonnelly, they were smart enough. Oisin has done an excellent man marking job all last year in the championship. They decided to put him on Macaulay, and that did negate a lot of Ederney's strength. So no, their switches definitely were a plus for them. But again, there's massive learning for both teams. I think both squads will go, even though yes, Derrygonnelly need the points, but both squads will go in knowing that they've a bit of depth, and they've options.
Yeah, and you turn to Ederney and you focus on them. This will give them huge belief, Kieran, because tonight they were without the likes of Owen Donnelly, Ryan Morris, Aaron Dennison, and of course Sean Cassidy still to come back into the frame. So this will give them huge belief. Exactly.
Look, as you said in the first half, Andy Cassidy and Jacob Britton just give them energy and drive, and big Louis Donnelly as well. Those players have come in. Louis will be a big plus to them this year. Marty proved a real handful, and the thing with Marty in there, he has to be marked by a big player, and it just frees up those other players to play around him. So that's something they can utilise. And they have scoring forwards to come back into this team, So we both mentioned that in the first half. Their use of possession was their key and was their strength. They looked confident in the ball, but yet they went back into their shell then in the second half, maybe when they felt the game was won. But no, they'll take massive heart. Look, you can see they've been working very well together. I know they've Maxie Kernan this year, so Posey probably prides himself on that ball retention, and I'd say that's why he probably is very disappointed in that 20 minutes in the second half when it should have been easier for them to control the football. But no, they will take massive pluses from this game.
22 minutes without a score, they'll be wondering, because they would have talked about that and they would have talked about complacency, I'm sure, at half time.
Yeah, look, it was just the simple basics. They were forcing kick passes inside. Derrygonnelly just still decided to go with a sweeper with Lee, and they played right into their hands. But just when their key men were marked, they just found it hard to get any cohesiveness in their play and link in their play. Their transition was quite static. Sometimes that's the thing. Probably when you've got the man up, your pace, your play should even step up another level. And pin teams in. They didn't get turnovers high up the pitch, and that's one thing you nearly have to preach with it when you're playing with a man up, that the opposition shouldn't really struggle to get out, and Derrygonnelly were getting out far too easy and linking their play far too easy. But that's perfect. That's what you want going into a championship. Obviously, their video analysis will highlight all those points, and both teams have loads to work on. But that's exactly.
And Derrygonnelly have lost 2 games out of 3, or 2 games out of 4 in the league. So, or 2 games out of 3, I should say. Will that be ringing alarm bells in their own camp or even further afield?
Look, I think they probably have enough experience to know that they have men to come back into the side. Like we had mentioned Ryan and Garvin, both probably huge worth players. About huge players, 5 or 6 points. So I don't think they'll panic, but they don't like losing. And sometimes that either can be bring an extra edge to your training or not. But I think that again they'll go away from here knowing that a lot of their younger players did still step up and they have options. Gary McKenna will be a massive loss, so they're going to have to find somebody to dovetail inside with whoever they're going to play. Him and Colin worked very well together last year, so that's something that they're going to have to try to establish going into a championship, because to win big games you need 2 men inside working together, and having that relationship. So that's something they'll be focusing on, I'd say, over the next few games.
And from a county management perspective, you'll have enjoyed what you've seen this evening, and you'll see that Fermanagh football is in good health after a competitive tussle like that there.
It is. Look, it's great to see that level of bite and competition in a league game. Both teams coming. Look, an excellent venue. Ederney's an excellent club and everything they do. On the pitch and off the pitch. So they deserve a team to be pushing and up at this level. And Derrygonnelly are the standard bearers in the county. So no, that's what we want within the county, teams that are going at it hard and competitive, and that wee bit of aggression on the pitch as well. well. So no, in a good place now, and both clubs will be hoping to be in the mix now, I'd say, come the end of the year.
And a year behind you, Kieran, in the post. You've enjoyed it. It has its challenges, I'm sure, but overall enjoyable.
Yeah, definitely. Look, we have a real good squad now. No doubt, it's hard work, of course, but there's nothing easy. Anything that's worth striving for is always hard work, and putting, especially with your own county, it's always a privilege for me. Anyway, we have a great squad, excellent backroom team that have worked really hard this year. We felt we have made progress. There's areas we have to improve on, of course, but we've blooded 13 players this year, new debutants, which hopefully we can build on for the future. And they all want to push on and perform for the county. So no, I think, look, we're in a good place. Really enjoyed the year. We just need to keep pushing on.
Yeah, well, look, Kieran, thanks for taking the time out to come along here. You'll be at a lot of games throughout the year, and there's no doubt we'll be asking you back to join us here on Fermanagh GAA TV. We've really enjoyed your company this evening, and your in-depth analysis has proved very, very popular. So thanks for joining us here on Fermanagh GAA
TV.
Jet,
thanks very much.
So there you have it from St Joseph's Park in Ederney. It's a victory for the home side on a final score here of Ederney 2 goals and 9 points, and Derrygonnelly Harps 14 points. We hope you've enjoyed this broadcast wherever you are in the world, and join us again when we will be back on Fermanagh GAA TV in the coming weeks. But for now, from Kieran and myself, from our camera crew and from Phil, thanks for joining us, and slán go fóill.